What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies.
It stinks.
Guys, welcome back to another edition of Gotta Love Them Movies. Here we are going to be reviewing not a movie, but a television show, Muppets Now. If you clicked on this video, that means that, you want to hear my thoughts and feelings about the new television show on Disney Plus, Muppets Now. I had really high hopes for this show. So let me go back. I didn't have high hopes for the show, but I really wanted it to be fun. I really wanted it to be good, and it's not. It's not. It has its redeeming features. It's not a complete pile of trash. I don't know. So let me just kind of explain the whole idea of Muppets Now, if you're not familiar. So the whole concept of the show is that Scooter, or rather the Muppets, have kind of come up with their own like YouTube channel or kind of like Muppets app or like something along those lines. And all of the different Muppets are creating their own kind of like YouTube style content to upload to, I guess, like the Muppets Now show or format or app or streaming service. Or like they haven't really been that clear about what Muppets Now is. It's some kind of a streaming service where, you know, all the Muppets create their content and then they give all of their videos to Scooter, and then Scooter has to upload each individual video to its platform or whatever. And they have a few interesting segments, like, and you know, if you scroll through YouTube, Muppets Now, the show Muppets Now is kind of a stroll through YouTube. So, I mean, they have a cooking show with Swedish Chef. I think it's called Okie Dokie Cookin'. It's pretty funny. It's okay. It's not my favorite segment. It's probably my second favorite segment on the show. My favorite segment, holy cannoli, it is Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show. This is the only segment, or like recurring segment on Muppets Now that is actually really good, consistently good. And of course, like each segment, it only lasts maybe like 5 minutes. Like each video, I guess, is only 5 minutes long, and they have maybe like 5 videos that all kind of make up like a 25-30 minute episode or whatever. So Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show, the concept is that, you know, Pepe is a game show host. Scooter's obviously kind of the PA on set, kind of like maybe the director or something, I don't know. But he's the one trying to make sure that the show runs in order and, you know, according to plan and everything. And then Pepe makes up the game show as it happens. So he doesn't stick to the script, and he just kind of makes up, all right, let's do a staring contest. And then inevitably Scooter's like, no, we can't do a staring contest. Like, that's not in the script. That's not a part of the game show. But because of Pepe is the host, he says, nope, we're doing a staring contest, and go. It's really silly. It's high energy. First of all, it's fun. This segment just makes me laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. It's really good. It's really fun. That being said, everything else pales in comparison to Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show. Miss Piggy has her own segment called Lifestyle. And like the way that they spell it, it's like pigsty, lifestyle. It's kind of like a generic lifestyle kind of YouTube style show. She always has tons of guests. Like Linda Cardellini is a regular on this. Tay Diggs shows up in every installment of Lifestyle. And it's just basically kind of like, hey, here's how to do your hair. Here's how to do your makeup. Here's how to do your nails. Here's how to eat properly with a knife and fork. Like, it's kind of, when I say generic, I mean, it tries to be one of those shows that's like, hey, this is like an Instagram beauty segment kind of thing. Here's how to enrich your life and like live your best Instagram life kind of thing. It doesn't ever really hit the mark. None of these segments ever really hit the mark. The Bunsen and Beaker segment is kind of like a science light experiment show. Like we can all probably name like 4 or 5 different YouTube channels that like blow stuff up just for the sake of blowing stuff up. Or hey, let's drop something off of a bridge and watch it break and fall apart. Or hey, let's take a car and set it on fire and see what happens. Like it's that kind of a science light show. They don't ever really go into the science on this particular show. I mean, and I think that's the whole thing that is very indicative about Muppets Now as a show on Disney Plus, is that it's a decent concept. It's a decent concept. Initially, when this show was announced, it was announced as a short form format. Me being in the improv world, short form has a very specific meaning. It's, if you're familiar with the television show Whose Line Is It Anyway, that is what we regard as short form. So there were a lot of people in the comedy community who were saying, oh, Muppets Now being a short form format show, they're going to be doing short form improv. So what improv games would you like to see the Muppets do? No, that is so far from what this show, like a lot of people missed the mark on that. It's a short form format in that the Muppets are creating like these micro short segments, and then they're uploading like a whole bunch, and you string them together, and then that's your episode, I guess. So like I said, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting format. It's just not well realized. Like the whole opening segment with Scooter, and like he's always under pressure. It's the same gimmick. It's the same setup. It's the same gag every single episode. Not just every single episode, in between every segment. So like you see the Swedish Chef, Okie Dokie Cooking. So you see that segment, and then you go back to Scooter, and then you see Pepe's Game Show, and then you go back to Scooter, and then you see Miss Piggy's show, and then you go back to Scooter, and he's always like under so much pressure, and like, I gotta get these videos uploaded, and it's always a different excuse as to why he's behind, why his work piles up on him, but it's the same gag, it's the same gimmick. It gets old, it gets tired. It's like, again, like it's a decent concept. And especially in the world that we live in today, like everybody's all about like that Instagram life. Everybody's about that YouTube life. Everybody's about like really short, Quibi is, television format for 5-minute episodes. Like it's whatever television show you want to watch, but in like 5-minute clips, 10-minute clips. We live in a day and age where everyone's attention spans have been shortened and condensed into a small, tiny little bite-sized package. And Muppets Now is actually kind of a clever concept to say, hey, we're going to have all the Muppets do their own separate individual things. It's not well realized. The whole Miss Piggy lifestyle show that they put in every single episode, and it is not good. It is unbearably bad. It could be really interesting. Well, but then again, anything could be really good or really interesting. It's just not. They don't use Gonzo. Where like Gonzo, I think, showed up in like 1 or 2 episodes. They always do some kind of a talk show, or not talk show, like an interview kind of a thing. One episode they interviewed RuPaul. One episode they interviewed Seth Rogen. One episode they interviewed Aubrey Plaza. And okay, those are kind of shticky and, pre-scripted and whatever, but they could be really interesting things, and they're not, because they're not taking the time to make them interesting. Gonzo, his character is built for something like this. Why don't we have him going off and doing all kinds of crazy things? Let's see an Evel Knievel stunt of him like shooting himself out of a cannon. Like, let's actually stage some really interesting things with Bunsen and Beaker. Bunsen and Beaker, where are they? Bunsen and Beaker. This, like, especially for all the science type shows out there right now, this could be a really cool educational tool, and it's not. They misuse it. It's I get the shtick. Like at the end of every episode or every segment, Beaker needs to explode, Beaker needs to get hurt. Like, I understand that needs to happen, but you can still infuse some really interesting science behind these things and conduct some really interesting experiments. So far, every episode that has like the Beaker and Bunsen show, they misuse it, and it's just kind of like, hey, here's a thing, let's explore this thing, but not really, They do a whole thing on AI sound. They do a whole thing on I can't remember. They've blown a few things up, but it's never been about something. It's never been an educational tool. And I feel like the Muppets have always represented that kind of like educational tool a little bit. Like, let's understand what this thing is, like even from a social perspective. They've always been about kind of catering a little bit more towards an adult audience. And I think that is what Disney doesn't understand. I don't think Disney has ever understood that the Muppets have always been geared towards an adult audience. Jim Henson was very draw the lines in the sand about this. Sesame Street was for children. Fraggle Rock was for teenagers. And Muppets were for the adults. That's just been the progression. That's just how it is. And when Disney acquired the Muppets, or I guess Henson Studios, Jim Henson Studios, I guess, Henson Productions, that was something that everybody was a little concerned about. Like, oh no, is Disney gonna not let the Muppets be Muppets? And then we got the Jason Segel movie, The Muppets, back in 2011 or something like that. I don't remember the date, but it was great. It was fantastic. And we all thought, oh, thank goodness, Jason Segel is like infusing his special brand of humor into the Muppets, and they're keeping it like, obviously, when I say adult, they're not like throwing gross, detestable jokes out there, but Jason Segel knew how to handle the Muppets, and then they rushed production on a sequel, and it was so bad. And then Disney did something which, again, I thought was quite clever. Let's have the Muppets television show on ABC, where Miss Piggy has her own talk show, and this show is kind of like an Office style or Parks and Recs style, like behind the scenes of what it's like to be on or to work on a talk show like a late night talk show starring Miss Piggy. That was genius. That was brilliant, and it worked really, really well, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It did not connect with the audiences. It was very, very well done. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, definitely go out and check it out. I think it's also on Disney Plus. It was really well done. I really liked it. It didn't last very long at all. And they kind of got to explore character development. Like, there's always been this like will they, won't they relationship with Kermit and Piggy, and sometimes they get together and sometimes they break apart. And this show really explored, they kind of dug into that a little bit. Like, why are they doing that the way that they're doing? This show is purely superficial. It's on the surface. It's definitely a surface show. They don't have a chance to get into the things that make the Muppets interesting, the things that make the Muppets connect with the audience. And it's a shame, because this could be, like I said, it could be a really cool, really fun, really interesting thing. Even in its short form format, it could be a really fun thing, but they misuse everything. They don't, like, almost every the Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show truly is the best part of the show. The Swedish Chef, Okie Dokie Cookin', they have a few segments that are There's one episode with the hot peppers. Holy cannoli. I just could not stop giggling. It was so stupid. It was so silly. And that episode with Swedish Chef and the hot peppers, like where he ended up putting hot peppers on his fingers, that was the heart of the Muppets. Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show. This segment is the heart of what the Muppets are. They're silly. They're ridiculous. It's fast. And it plays into the characters themselves. With Muppets Now as a whole, they don't know what to do with Scooter. They definitely do not know what to do with Kermit. In fact, Steve Whitmire, he was. I'm not going to get into the reasons why he was replaced, but he's now being voiced by, and I literally just changed the screen. Oh, this is so annoying. Matt Vogel. Matt Vogel is now doing the voice of Kermit the Frog, and it's a noticeable difference. It's a noticeable difference. I mean, Frank Oz isn't doing the voice of Fozzie or Miss Piggy anymore, but it still sounds like Fozzie. It still sounds like Miss Piggy. The guy that they got to, Matt Vogel, who they got to replace Steve Whitmer as Kermit the Frog, it's a noticeable change. And I think for that reason, they've also removed Kermit from the show. I mean, like, he's still in the show. I mean, here you see him talking to Scooter and saying, "Hey, Scooter, we need to get these videos uploaded." Or, "Hey, Scooter, we kind of need to get these videos uploaded." They misuse. In fact, Kermit has this one segment in the first episode where it's all about photobombing. Hey, Walter, here's how to photobomb other people's photos. It didn't go anywhere. It was so dumb. It didn't mean anything. And then that was pretty much the last you kind of saw of Kermit. I mean, he's not a major starring role in the show, which he should be. He's Kermit. He's the face of the Muppets. Gonzo, you're not using Gonzo. Where's Rizzo the Rat? Rizzo just left Muppets kind of entirely, which I don't like. Anyway, guys, all of this is to say, Muppets Now, is it worth your time? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not worth your time. It's worth your time to see Pepe's Unbelievable Game Show. That is hysterical through and through. The Swedish Chef, Okie Dokie Cookin'. Yeah, check it out. Summer hit, summer miss. It's okay. That one with the chili peppers where he puts the chili peppers on his fingers. Oh man, I was dying. I think it was in the second episode. I was dying. It was so funny. But yeah, pretty much every other segment that they have on the show, it's not really worth your while. And I wish it was. I really wish it was. Oh, it hurts my heart to say that. It hurts my heart to say that. Anyway, guys, have you had a chance to see Muppets Now? What did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Let me know in the comment section below. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what this dinosaur would want you to do. Roar, roar, roar!